So we are going to read chapter 3 together. We'll see how far we get. Okay, are you ready? Are you all cozied up with your blankie? Or blanket? If you don't call it blankie, that's totally fine. Okay, ready. Chapter 3 of The Disappearing Doodle. As Logan got near to the mayor's house, he wondered why would the doodle take off in the first place? Or was it that someone took her? He had to remember to ask the mayor if he saw anyone suspicious in the area. The mayor's house was at the top of a hill, but his driveway started at the bottom of the hill. Logan started to stand up to keep his bike from stopping, and then he stopped altogether. Duh. He had his modified bike. That meant he had his mini rockets again. He didn't need to be huffing and puffing all the way up. All he had to do was switch the rockets on. Logan was just about to do that when he heard bring, bring. What in the world? Thought Logan as he turned his head and saw his neighbor's niece coming up the driveway. Hey, Logan, look at my new bell, Emily asked, while hitting her purple bell that was the size of an apple on her handlebars. Bring, bring. That's the loudest bicycle bell I have ever heard, Logan exclaimed, and the most annoying, he thought to himself. I thought bicycle bells were like little chirping ones. Oh yeah, they are, but that's too babyish for me. I wanted a big bell so that everyone could hear me coming, Emily said with a grin. Emily is a year younger than Logan and is frequently over at her aunt's house. Logan usually plays basketball or marbles when she is. Emily is all right for a girl, and she sort of helped Logan the last case he had with the finders. Of course, there wouldn't have been a case if Emily hadn't touched her aunt's prize-winning orchid, but that's another story. So, Logan, what are you doing at the mayor's house? Emily inquired of Logan. Oh, well, I heard his dog had gone missing, and I thought I'd help look for her, Logan told her. What are you doing here? I'm going to see if the mayor will buy any chocolates for our school fundraiser. I figure if I hit all the really big houses in town, I might get enough to get that cool radio-operated helicopter. Emily, don't you have to get like 500 orders to get that thing? How in the world are you going to get that many orders? Logan asked her as they started walking up the driveway. Ha! That's where my horn comes in. I figure I'll ring it in front of their houses, and when they come out to shoo me away, I'll say that the only thing I love more than this new bell is the helicopter I'm trying to win at school, but I need a ton of orders to get it. And I'm so sad about it that I have to ring my new bell to make me feel a little better. Then whammo! I'll pull up my order form and ask them for an order or two. Emily replied with a mischievous look in her eyes. Oh, brother. So you're going to basically blackmail the neighborhood to get that helicopter? Logan looked at Emily with a very disapproving face. A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, she said with her head tilted up, nose in the air. I'm thinking it's more likely that your parents are going to get phone calls from all over asking them to take away your bell. Logan laughed. He had to hand it to her. She had what his PJ, Papa John, would say is gumption. That's when a person will do whatever it takes to get what they want, or at least that's what he thought it meant. And Emily would do whatever it took to get that helicopter. He felt sorry for the houses she was going to go to. Logan, I have a stupendous idea, Emily suddenly proclaimed. Emily is also very dramatic, but you couldn't help but like her. She was sometimes bossy. Well, a lot of the times bossy, but in a I'm going to tell you what to do because you need my help sort of way. What is it this time? Logan grumbled. How about if you help me with my fundraiser and I'll help you look for the mayor's doodle? That way we both get our jobs done faster, she said while she laid her bike down at the front porch of the mayor's house. I don't know, Logan hesitantly said. He didn't know how he would be able to find the doodle and not use the special tools Dr. Racket had given him to help him. Come on, we make a great team. And if I need to not ask any questions, she said with this gruff voice trying to imitate Logan's voice, then I won't. And you can use some of the cool gadgets that you have, she said while skipping up to the front door. Emily, when I told you not to ask questions, that was a one-time deal. It was in order to get your aunt's orchid to the ceremony on time. We made a deal, remember? Logan reminded her, hoping she would leave the subject alone. But who was he kidding? She was like a dog with a bone, and this dog he knew was not going to let go of the bone. Okay, but we could make a new deal where I help you, and whatever we use, I won't ask where you got it from, or why you sometimes go into the abandoned toy store downtown, she quickly said as the front door swung open. Uh-oh, thought Logan. Hello, kids, the mayor greeted him. What can I do for you? He wanted to know. The mayor was a really nice guy who always had lollipops in his suit pocket when he would visit different places downtown. He didn't have any hair on the top of his head. Logan thought it must have all dropped down to around his ears and to his mustache, 'cause he had plenty in those places. Hi, Mr. Mayor. My name is Logan Scott, Logan said quickly before Emily could talk. And Emily here, and I want to help you look for your dog. So we were wondering if we could look in your backyard, Logan asked while Emily did a little happy dance beside him. Oh, that would be great. I am so worried about her. She just wasn't herself lately, and now I can't find her anywhere. This is not like her to just disappear, the mayor explained. Don't worry, Mr. Mayor. Logan here can find anything, and I'm going to help, so you get 2 for the price of 1, Emily stated. Logan elbowed Emily. Mr. Mayor, we are not charging anything. Logan said this emphatically while glaring at Emily, who just shrugged her shoulders. Any help is very much appreciated, the mayor told them. I'll show you where she usually plays in the backyard. As they got to the backyard gate, Logan turned to Emily and whispered, If you're gonna work with me, I'll do the talking. I never charge to find something lost. Fine, Mr. Bossy Pants, Emily retorted, scrunching up her nose, making a face at him. Logan just rolled his eyes and walked into the backyard. First thing Logan saw was dog toys. Not just 1 or 2, but a ton of them. The mayor's yard was covered in dog toys. Wow, you really like dog toys, Emily said in awe of all the toys. They were rubber hot dogs, tires, balls, then what looked like a bridge, a baby swimming pool, and a fire hydrant. Yes, our Dottie is like our baby. Now that all our kids have grown up, we kind of spoil her, the mayor said with very sad eyes. Don't worry, Mayor. We will find her, Logan reassured him. Now, could you tell me where you went last time with Dottie? Logan asked, with a notebook in hand. Let me see. We went to the pet store 2 days ago, and on the way home stopped at Miss Cindy's house. Do you know her? She won the Grand Flower Award last month at City Hall, the mayor asked Logan and Emily. Oh, yes, she's my aunt and Logan's neighbor, Emily piped up from one corner of the yard. Oh, gross, Emily suddenly yelled. What's wrong? Logan asked as he walked over to where Emily was standing. It looks like puke. Is this dog puke? Emily asked while holding her nose. Oh my, yes, that would be the case, the mayor said, looking a little green himself. Was Dottie feeling okay the last couple of days? Logan inquired. I didn't notice anything. I mean, she will sometimes tear apart her toys and then swallow some stuffing and throw it up later. I guess that's what happened here, the mayor replied. After Miss Cindy's, did you come straight home? Emily asked. Logan gave her a look. What? I can ask questions. It's a free country, you know, Logan. If I'm going to be your partner, partners always get to ask questions too, she said finished with a We will have to discuss this partnership later, Logan said in his best Agent Moon voice. For now, let's head over to the pet store and see if they noticed anything. Okay, I'll meet you there. I'll just go drop off my fundraiser sheets, Emily said. Oh, are you doing a school fundraiser? I always get the chocolate-covered turtles, the mayor exclaimed, looking happy for the first time since Logan and Emily got there. Well, I happen to have the form right here, Emily said as she whipped out some papers from her back pocket. Oh, brother, Logan sighed and headed out to his bike. At least he'd get a head start on Emily while she took care of her business. Once he was out of sight from the house, Logan switched on his mini rockets and headed to the pet store. Chapter 4. As Logan neared the pet store, he turned off the rocket so he didn't draw attention to himself. Of course, at midday, downtown isn't that busy, so he wasn't too worried about anyone getting suspicious. Emily wasn't going to be there for a little while, so he figured he'd get a jump start. He wasn't exactly sure how this whole partnership was going to work. Eventually, he'd have to tell her about the finders. Emily not being able to ask questions is like telling a dog not to run after you throw a ball. Although she was able to keep quiet last time when they had to fly to City Hall with a lollipop turned to air balloon. And sometimes it would be nice to bounce off ideas off someone else. He would have to see how it went. As he entered the store, a little bell jingled, letting the owner know someone was in the store. A short, little old lady came up to the front. She had gray hair wrapped in a bun on top of her head and a neon green work shirt on. Her shirt under her coat had little paw prints all over it. "Hello there. Can I help you find anything?" the woman asked. "Maybe. I'm helping the mayor find his lost dog. He mentioned coming to the pet store a couple days ago. Were you here at that time?" Logan inquired. "Oh, yes. We love when Dottie and the Doodle comes in. She's always so good. And such a beautiful dog to look at." "She is lost?" "Oh, no," the woman replied. "Yes, when she was in here, did she seem okay? Nervous or not her usual self?" Logan asked. Now that you mention it, she was not as excited as she usually is. Kinda walking slower. Oh, I hope she is okay. I'll put a flyer up to alert my customers in case they see her," the shop owner told Logan. "That would be great," Logan said as he left the store. After he clipped his bike helmet on, he thought about what the shop owner said about Dottie not being herself. Logan hoped the dog wasn't sick. That would mean their case just got more urgent. He looked around and didn't see Emily. "Well, Miss Cindy is my next stop. Maybe I'll run into her on the way," Logan thought to himself, a little happy he didn't have to partner up just yet. As he came to a stop sign, all of a sudden he heard barking but didn't see any dogs around. That's when he remembered his earbuds. He figured he'd better follow the barks just to make sure it wasn't Dottie. It sounded too little of a bark, but he needed to follow every lead. As the barking got louder, he realized he was heading in the direction of Emily's house. They didn't have a dog, so he wondered if maybe one of her neighbors did. When Logan started down Emily's street, he saw her coming at him looking like a madwoman. Her face was all sweaty and her shirt looked dirtier than usual. "Hey, why are you coming to my street? I thought we were going to check out the pet store," she asked when she screeched to a stop, sliding her bike to the side to make a rubber mark on the pavement. She was pretty talented for a girl. "Already checked it out. The shop owner said that Dottie wasn't herself, slower than usual," Logan explained to Emily. "I hope Dottie isn't sick," Emily said with a worried expression. "Wait a minute. How in the world did you get there? And then here so fast?" Emily wanted to know as she looked more intensely at Logan's bike. "I'm just stronger than you," Logan said quickly to get her away from looking at his bike. The rockets were tiny, but knowing Emily, she'd spot them if she looked long enough. "Are not," Emily said, now looking at Logan with a scowling face. "Well, why are you headed here? Isn't the next stop my aunt's house?" Emily said with a sass in her tone. "I was, but then I heard a dog barking, and why are you so sweaty and dirty?" Logan asked her, as he started biking towards her house where the barking was coming from. "Oh, this?" she said, looking down at her shirt. "My dad came home with a surprise. You wanna know what it is?" she asked Logan with a sly smile. "Sure, what is it? And why did the surprise make you dirty?" Logan added. "The surprise made me dirty because," she said, dragging out the word because, so that she could get to her driveway and jump off her bike. She ran inside and came out with a cardboard box. "It's a puppy!" You probably heard him. "That's why I was running late. I just had to play with him for a little bit in the backyard," Emily said as she pulled out of the box a little black ball of fur. "I named him Midnight. You want to hold him? His fur is super soft." Logan had always wanted a dog, but didn't know if he was ready to take care of one. His mom made it very clear that if they were to get a dog, he was the one who would be feeding it, walking it, and picking up its poop. He was okay with the first two. It was the last one he wasn't sure about. But man, Emily's puppy had him wondering again. He went over and picked up the ball of fur. Midnight's paws were indeed very dirty, and he was trying to crawl all over Logan. So he could see now why Emily looked the way she did. He was a squirmy little thing. "He is cute, but we've got another dog to find ASAP. If Dottie is sick, she will need to go to the vet as soon as we find her," Logan said as he headed back to the bikes. "Okay, I'll bring Midnight to Porter and we'll be right back," Emily shouted from the doorway. Porter was Emily's older brother. "So, I guess you've come to your senses and I'm okay to be your partner?" Emily asked as she raced over to her bike while clipping her bike helmet on. "Hold on to your horses, Missy." Logan's mom would say that to his sister when she was being bossy. "You're on a trial basis. I'm used to working alone, so we will see if this is going to work or not," Logan told her. Yeah. You need me. You just don't know it yet. So, where to next, boss?" Emily asked. "Miss Cindy's house. That's the next stop the mayor said he went to after the pet store. Let's find out if she noticed anything about Dottie that day," Logan called out as he pedaled in the direction of Miss Cindy's house. He was disappointed that he couldn't use the rocket since Emily was with him. But he still kept his earbud in so that if he could hear any barking was going on. Usually dogs barked at other dogs. If he heard a lot of barking, he figured it would be worth checking out. But so far, the town was quiet. And we'll stop there and start the next episode with Chapter 5. Okay? I'll see you little detectives later.